In your natural state of connectedness with being, this deeper reality can be felt every moment as the invisible inner body, the animating presence within you. So to inhabit the body is to feel the body from within, to feel the life inside the body and thereby come to know that you are beyond the outer form.
Right, oof, hello. Okay, today I was going to talk to you about light. Just turn this down. We're getting loads of downloads about different light. So I was doing this yesterday. Sorry, it just blows my mind the stuff that's coming through at the moment because I haven't painted properly all year, and I literally just been looking at all my work, and there's just been so much information stored in it, like since I've been just meditating all year, and I've actually stopped painting and then looked at it. So when you talk about the tarot and why the tarot was actually created, and we think about the subconscious mind, is almost like a form of time travel. So like bits of information that are in my paintings, my past self was doing for my future self. So like there's bits of information I'm receiving from it now, where I was getting to a deep enough state back then to channel that information that was coming through. And it's like now I'm receiving bits of light-coded information also. And the more like relaxed I become into it, the more comes through. But now I understand like that place, how important it is where I am going. Like you overthink it, so like I'm over calculating like steps and steps ahead while I'm creating. It's coming through like steps ahead as I'm. So this is why I move around and then I pick up the different colours. So I'm aligning that energy, weaving that energy with like the certain frequencies that I'm taking into account, and I'm weaving all those. These are like visuals as well because I'm using the crystals. Like when you think about it as well, because I'm putting them like on my body, I'm energizing these as I'm energizing the frequency through my crystal and then into this. And the other thing about the paintings as well is that it goes from like 1D, which would be like the substance, what you're using, and then you're putting it into like 2D, and then you're creating something that is 3D within that. Do you see what I'm saying? And then it will come out like 4D, but it's the light source. So like in my paintings I've started noticing, so I've got a book here. A good friend of mine gave this to me last year when I first came here, and it's actually been blowing my mind because I've been sitting decoding my own work as well. But it's called Colour and Light, and he just talks about like different lighting and painting, and I'd never really like thought. Obviously, like okay, so you got overcast light. Because we are creating realities here, so when you look at it, when it is fractalized, like when you're looking at universes, like artists create universes, so even when you got to take it down to the minimal, you know, like I was saying, like down to the 1D, you know, down to the minerals, down to the soil, you know, down to that, and then pull it out again. But then when we do it in this, you know, dimension, when we do it in a dimensional way, like it's the arts, yeah, it's creativity, it's frequency, it's much, it's simplicity is complex. Again, I always say it. But yeah, so he does like window light and how the painting would be affected by that. And this is, you got to remember, like this is where the light's bouncing, and most artists, like most people that back in the day or whatever, would have been, you know, like paintings like Turner and that, people that learn to paint like this, you gotta understand that since I was younger and I learned about all this stuff, as I've grown up, that is literally all I look at when I go out, because that's what I love doing. So I've just been like analysing the way Gaia moves, the way, you know, shape and form is moving, and this is literally like, you almost have to feel it and become it, and it's like, you can do that with this, like through emotion, and then you're pushing it through. But if you, now we're linking it up with the crystal grid, like it puts a whole new spin on everything. So candle and firelight. So we can see the light source gives the energy, you know. So like this makes it interesting with my work now, because the light source is from within. So it's coming from within. So like the light sources we choose are literally the dimensions of different light codes, light sources. Yeah. So like, if I understand how to keep layering just the colour here to create form in 3D, like the crystals are just full of hue, you know. So the light source that I use is like from within, like I choose my own light source, like that most artists and that, like I said, would go around and they'd look at nature and they'd like use that, because they'd be like, that would be inspiration for them, so they're painting. So like if you've got the artist on drugs and then they're painting from the dimensions again as well, then this is where it gets funny, because they're not going crazy, like they're going crazy, or they say that artists are crazy back in the day, because they're playing around with the dimensions, literally, like they're literally grounding them. So if they're feeding the artist, like there's always this web going of people painting, so like this would be the newest tarot card. And if I go and add a mark to it again, that again is the newest tarot card, you see, because tarot cards were created by artists for inspiration, they weren't made to fortune tell. Yeah. So like this is the most recent tarot card, but it's not, because I'm not painting it right now. If I'm painting it right now, then it's the most recent. But then there's so many other people right now currently painting, so they're all painting the most recent tarot card. It's being done when it's present, yeah. So if everything becomes present within these centres and that we want to build, you know, and then we have control then of the light source, because it's all reflected and refracted everywhere right now. So, but we all have our own light source and our own universe, inner universe within as well. Do you see? We're all like disharmonised and so broken. It needs to like, I see everyone's echo, you know, I see the echo, and I see everyone on like square festival stages, and I see the bounce of their frequency and their echoes, like they're not angling right, they're going off and they're banging into each other. Everyone's like, this person's on caffeine, or this person's high on codeine, or this person's, you know, had like loads of sugar for lunch, and this person's eating a salad. So they're all on different like angles, reflecting out the light they're containing, just everything's just like, I see it all, you know. I see it all when I'm out, and when you're in a city, man, it just gets crazy. And then when you do combine the macro, this is the small, you know, but it's also very large at the same time. Art. That's why you have to have construct within art universities and that, because when you give someone such an open boundary, they don't know what to do with it. So they have to structure it, you know. But yeah, when it comes down to the crystalline DNA and the crystal grid, like this is opening codes within the DNA within, because they're being channeled and they're being worked on, so now they're upgrading. And yeah, we're using this in it as well, and like this holds so much information. Yeah. And okay, I just want to play you one more thing. But yeah, the light source from this is coming from within. So it's coming from within, and that's what it's portraying out, and it's just layers of colour, like, and with certain angle dimensions.
The more you listen now, the most precious thing there is. Why is it the most precious thing? Firstly, because it is the only thing. It's all there is. The eternal present is the space within which your whole life unfolds. The one factor that remains constant. Life is now. There was never a time when your life was not now.